Uh,
Hello, my friends, and welcome to the latest spin. Happy Monday to all. Mike Spinner, Student Athlete World USA, coming at you today. It's a beautiful Monday for me for a couple of reasons. Number one, I don't have to talk about the New York Giants today because it's a special edition of the latest spin. So I'm pretty excited to focus on other things today, especially because the other thing I'm focusing on is a very special guest to us. I'll introduce in just a moment. But the thing that stands out to me is I interviewed our special guest last November, late just before Thanksgiving. And it was my first and only time meeting with him face to face and his awesome family. And I wrote in the notes about him. And TJ, we haven't talked about this yet, but here's one of the notes I wrote about him. This kid has so much charisma. I think we might want to do a video with him one day without knowing that we would do one. I mean, it's just amazing. It goes to show you how deep these interviews get that we do and how much I get to know the candidates because here we are. So it's my pleasure to introduce TJ Edwards. TJ was a traveler with us this past summer to Argentina, and he'll be a traveler with us to Argentina next summer. And that to me, I have to tell you, anytime you get a repeat traveler, someone who's going to come back with us for a second year, third year, some cases 5 and 6 years, that's what this is all about. Someone who had such a great experience that they want to come back. But for me, at the time, being brand new to the company, to have someone who I first connected with about student athlete world, now not only coming back, but doing his tour again is such a thrill. So TJ, welcome to the latest spin. It's great to see you again. And just how's life going? I think you're in college. Just tell our thousands out there what you're up to, and then we'll dig into our tours.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is TJ Edwards. I'm 20 years old from Alexandria, Virginia. Yes, I am in college at Norfolk State University, and I'm also in the military, in the Navy to be exact. So right now, I'm just in my room hanging out during this interview. Glad to be here.
Well, it's certainly great to see you, and on behalf of a grateful nation, thank you for your service. And and no matter what happens in the Navy, don't let them take away that smile ever, because you have. I still remember our interview last year. That's how much of an impression you left on me. And kind of speaking of which, is talk about before you and I met last November. What drew you to Student Athlete World? Like where did your interest in our tours come from? How did Student Athlete World become a part of your life?
How it became for my life? Well, one, it was something when I got the letter in the mail. It was actually not the first time I got a letter in the mail. My mom actually got a bunch of letters in the mail to do Sorry USA, but we didn't have the money to. So this time we actually did, and I saw it. I was like, oh, I ran downstairs, showed my mom. I was like, Mom, I want to do this. She was like, you sure? I was like, yes. So obviously, one, I get to travel, especially by myself, without my mom for the first time ever. So, and also to learn new things, especially in a new country, and have meet new people.
Love it. Love it. Well, I'm certainly glad it all worked out. You, like I say, you became one of my favorite candidates and then travelers that we had last year. And then so you went through the process, obviously learned recommendation videos, etc. Met with me, which thankfully drew you even closer to the company. And then it was decision time because you got to us relatively early in the process where you were able to make a decision. So why Argentina? Like what drew you to that tour?
One, I was always interested in Latin America. One countries I want to go to Brazil. So if I ever got to go to anywhere in Latin America, I'm happy I chose Argentina first because one, the people there is amazing, the sightseeing, the food, of course, was amazing, but it was a wholly different experience that I thought I'd never get to experience.
Love it. So speaking about the tour, is there a day from the tour, be it basketball, be it just an excursion day? Is there a day that you could think of that stood out to you as wow, this is like the best day ever, the coolest thing I've ever done? Can you talk about a day on the tour for
Uh, I was I actually was thinking about this when you was talking about it. I don't think the best, but I think the funniest is when we was playing against Pedro Exchange and the court was so slippery through the entire game. Everyone was just slipping and falling everywhere, and I was just laughing my butt off the entire
you?
game. I couldn't help it.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, you get the weather conditions at some of these places, and you never know what you're going to face on the floor.
Yes.
So, wow. So I'm certainly glad no one was hurt, and they were able to have a lot of fun with it. That is awesome. And you brought up the food, so just talk about and something that I try to talk about on these videos on the latest spin. I'm a bit of an amateur chef myself, so I know from my tour, which was in Europe, I had a chance to experience all different kinds of new cuisine. And what I'm doing now is actually at home cooking some of these dishes so I could share it with our prospective travelers. Like, here are the types of dishes that you can expect when you go on tour. It's fun for me to be able to cook something new. So I did Austrian goulash a couple weeks ago, and it was awesome. Um, I could tell you that watching your tour from afar, the pictures and videos that came in, the food in Argentina just looked amazing. I remember thinking to myself, I need to get, and not that I was never interested in Argentina before, but watching the social media that we put up for your tour, I thought to myself, I need to go on this tour. So, talk about the food itself, any specific dishes that you remember, just in general, the culinary experience that you had in Argentina.
One, the food is a 10 out of 10. I'll tell you that. It was mostly meat, what I remember, especially when we were playing against the game after Bernal.
Okay.
So, of course, we had like a barbecue. When I tell you the food they brought out, not only it was a lot, but it was so good we didn't want to leave.
I love that.
At least at least I didn't want to leave. I wanted to stay and like eat everything else that they had. At least the
Mhm.
rest of the food that they had. It was so good. I couldn't help it.
And let me just follow up on that. So, would you say most of the food you ate in Argentina was new for you, or was a lot of Americanized food but served in another country?
Some of it was Americanized, but I think most of it that we had was definitely new for me.
Love that. So that's awesome. And the reason why I asked the question is because it's your first time to Argentina. So for you to experience all that new cuisine and love the food so much, that says so much about our tour and the experience that you had.
Of
Awesome.
course.
Very cool. And obviously, the reason why you won this tour above all was basketball. Again, I was from a distance watching your tour and enjoying it. But it looks like to me the team really came together. And speaking with a few different of the members of your team from that tour, the team experience was a huge plus. They really bonded. It looks like you guys made some best friends for life. So talk about the team, the games, the coaches, like the basketball experience. Talk to us about what that experience meant to you and what it was like.
Uh, well, one the team, you got a lot of different personalities coming to one group, wanting to play one game. Well, technically four games, but of course playing the same sport. So when you got all that different people, you have to try how to mix and match. You got to learn what they do, how they play. The coach, he was amazing. Every time we saw him, he always had a smile on his face. He was always hyping us up during the games, before the games, especially after the games, especially after our win that we had, our first and only win. Uh, the games were amazing, especially after the games, especially in Bernal, because Bernal was uh small. Our team was small, but a whole lot of people came out, and of course, but came autographs. So a lot of kids want autographs. Even before the game started, I remember we were doing layup lines, practicing our layups and shooting, getting warm in, and kids were coming into the line, wanting to get our autographs, wanting to sign shirts. They wanted to sign their arms. One kid actually had a jersey, had a Lakers jersey, and I got to sign that. We got to sign
Wow.
that. Yes. And then after the game, everyone rushed to the court, pictures, more autographs. People was like, "Thank you for coming. It was amazing."
I love that.
But one girl I met at Bernal, she actually has the same shoes I wore at the game. So it was good to meet people who have same interests.
I love it. And to our viewers, I mean, that's something that even I was surprised on my own tour. When you're an American athlete, especially basketball player, and you go to another country, it's a big deal that you're there. On my tour, I saw our athletes taking pictures and signing autographs. I know on the Argentina tour that happened a lot. You know, and so when we talk about being an ambassador for our country, you really are. And I think, for you, I hope, and all of our athletes, I hope all of our athletes achieve all their dreams in life, whether it's sports or non-sports related. But the experience of playing your sport and signing autographs afterwards, very few people get to do that. So, TJ, I'm really excited for you and your teammates that you were able to experience that, and it's something that's special. Like you'll probably remember that the rest of your life, huh?
I will, most definitely. I
Love
could not stop thinking about it.
it. That's great. That's great. I'm kind of jealous. I never had anything like that during my sports career. I had a pretty good sports career, but I'm thrilled that you were able to experience that. And I know you mentioned there was the one game that was memorable um, because the floor was slippery. It was kind of funny. But in terms of the competition, winning one game, we go up against really strong competition in all of our tours. So winning one game is not like it was a bad tour. I think you guys just played really good teams. Basketball in Argentina is no joke at all. Um, is there a game that stands out just in terms of the competition as being the most memorable?
Bernal, the first team, we could not stop. We was behind the entire game.
Mm-hmm.
We It was so hard because one, we came in there with low expectations for the team,
Mm-hmm.
and then when we saw him play, our expectations was blown out of the water. They was draining threes, finding open lanes, shooting in our faces. It was hard to defend, but we did pretty good. We got shots in, had a fun time mostly, but it was like difficult, very difficult.
But you're still smiling. So,
Yes,
and you're coming back. So you must have really enjoyed that level of competition.
yes.
Awesome. And were the gyms generally crowded? Like it sounds like the atmosphere in the gyms, like you just mentioned, were great. Was it fun playing in front of that kind of crowd? Was it different for you?
It was For me, it was different because one, I mostly played street ball mostly.
Mm-hmm.
So I mostly played against people who like hype you up all the time. But playing against a bunch of people who like, oh, they're cheering for their team most of the game. And then, but if they see you do something cool, like we have people dunking during the game, they get hyped during it. I remember our first day actually. There was a game going on. It was a girls' basketball game going on. And when it finished, as soon as we got on the court, some of us were dunking, and then you hear the parents and the girls like, "Oh my gosh, oh," doing all these moves and stuff. But it was amazing, especially the crowd.
I love it. Well, yeah, that's what it's all about, right? Having that moment in a
Yeah,
USA jersey, playing a big time atmosphere, signing autographs. It doesn't get it, and eating great food. It doesn't get any better than that.
it was not.
Awesome. Is there one memory from the tour on the court, traveling, the different excursions we do? Is there one memory that stands out to you as like, here's what I'll take away from this experience with me?
The food,
Food, I love it.
food. I'm a big foodie, so I like to eat. So when I got the chance to like eat something from a different country, I'm gonna eat it. I'm gonna enjoy it, and if it's good, I'm gonna want to come back to eat it again.
I love it. Well, that is great. And that's a good segue to kind of the question that's been on my mind. So you're going back to Argentina next summer, which if it's up to me, you'll go to Argentina. That's your summer vacation every summer to play for us, especially great guy like you. But obviously you had options. You chose Argentina a second time. Talk about the decision-making process, like why you're going back on the same tour again, and also what you're looking forward to the most.
Well, I'm going back mostly because I won a round two. There are some games that we should have won, so like I want a redemption for those games.
The TJ Edwards Redemption Tour. I love it.
Yes. Uh, what I'm expecting new, of course, what I saw on Facebook and on Instagram that we're getting new players. So most definitely meeting new people, of course, learn their style of play. It's most definitely going to be feel weird. Hopefully, I might see one or two people that I went with last year, hopefully. So that would be good to play with some people I met already, but also teach some people about the teams that we played, or if we play new teams, how they can show off their skills.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited for you, and I don't know which tour I'm doing yet for the company. I go on one this summer, so the experience with you makes me want to go to Argentina. So you never know. So that's awesome. So maybe I'll be there with you guys.
I hope
And
so.
fun. Me too. And I happen to really like your team as a whole, but you were definitely a kid that I was like, man, I'm glad this kid's with us. So maybe I'll get down there. My last big question is more of a general question. We're in the process right now of filling our rosters for next summer for all of our sports. And so you're gonna have a lot of different people watching this video who are considering touring with us. So if there's a piece of advice you can give to anyone who's watching this, thinking about traveling with us, but they haven't quite made their decision yet, what would it be?
If you're making a decision, go for it. This is, I wouldn't say a once in a lifetime experience. You can always do it next year or the year after that. But at the same time, you get to meet new people. You get to learn something about yourself, about a different country, about the people you're with. You never know what you're going to do, what they're going to do, what you're going to learn. And if you decide to go, practice. Practice is everything. You want to know, you want to up your skill before you go because these are some tough teams. They're not going to take it easy on you. Yes, they're going to have fun with it also, but they want to win like we want to win. That's that's the main goal of this. Winning, having fun, and at the end of the day, you still get some food and have fun. So
I love it, TJ, and it's been so great catching up with you and seeing you again. Probably the downer for my job with this company, the only downer is that I meet with you once, you go on tour. In this case, I get to see you a second time, but I feel like we're friends at this point,
yes.
and so not having a chance to see my friends all the time can be tough. And but I'm really glad we had a chance to spend some time together today. This was an awesome interview, and I certainly thank you for your time. And I wish you nothing but the best of luck in the Navy, with college, and certainly with touring with us, and hopefully for years to come as well. And bring some friends too, TJ. If you got friends just like you who play basketball or any other sport, they're always welcome to join us. And speaking of which, anything else from you, TJ? I should let you have the floor one more time. Anything else from you?
Well, anything else from me? Well, I was gonna say, do your best. Stay in the moment. You don't worry about the past. It's always gonna be there. Don't worry about the future because you never know what's gonna come.
Hmm.
Anything could change. It's all about the present. If you focus on the present, it will make everything better in the future. And that's it.
Love it. TJ Edwards, thank you so much again. And to all of our friends out there, and I say this every video, every latest spin, I say this, when you listen to TJ Edwards speak, how could you not want to join us? And there's only one way to do it. Fill out your application, interview with me, pack your bags. For more information, studentathleteworld.com. You could always email me, Mike at studentathleteworld.com. And TJ, I look forward to our next encounter. And to everyone else, I look forward to the next latest spin next week. Hopefully, some better news on the football front. For now, Mike Spinner, Student Athlete World signing off. We'll see everyone soon. Have a great week.